Hello there. In today's video, I will be reviewing Star Wars Battlefront from 2004. If you want to play this game, you could get it on Steam for $10, and also you could get it on Xbox for $10. The main three parts of this game are the instant action, the Galactic Conquest, and the campaign. There's also multiplayer, but it's only for PC, and you can't play the multiplayer on Xbox because the servers are shut down for Xbox, and PC has still operational servers for the multiplayer. So yeah, if you pick it up on Steam, you'll have multiplayer also with the single player content. So yeah, so in this video only I'll be reviewing the single player, because on Xbox you could play the single player, and also on PC you could play the single player, but Xbox doesn't have the multiplayer, but PC does have the multiplayer. So the main thing that I'll be reviewing are the things that both the Xbox has and the PC has. So I'm just going to be reviewing the instant action, the Galactic Conquest, and the campaign parts of the game. So yeah, so I guess let's start talking about the game. Okay, so let's start talking about the classes, all the different types of units that you could use in the battles. So first we have the infantry unit, which is very, very basic, and you know, has a basic rifle and a grenade, nothing too special. The heavy trooper has a big rocket launcher that is very, has a big rocket launcher, could place down bombs, and it's supposed to be an anti-tank unit, but it isn't very good against tanks. It does a very small amount of damage. It's not very a good anti-tank unit, but of course the original second Battlefront improved on that. And there's now the pilot class. This class is very different, and when you use it on different factions. So when you play as the Separatists and the Empire, the engineer has a grenade launcher. When you play it as the Republic, you have this like rifle that releases energy. And when you're the Rebels, it has a shotgun. And also the engineer counts as the pilot class also counts as an engineer class because it can repair stuff. And yeah, also has some Bacta and some ammo packs. So it's a very, very good class and very, very unique for each faction. Also, there's the sniper class, which is also very cool because it has like the sniper class has like a droid that you could use, and it has an orbital bombardment, and that's very, very cool. Just make the droid move somewhere and activate the orbital bombardment, and there's shots flying from the air bombing the ground, and that's just very, very awesome. And also and those are all the like classes that each faction has. So yeah, and also each faction has its own like unique class. So the Rebels have the Wookie Smuggler, which has a grenade launcher, a bowcaster, and I'm pretty sure a grenade. I'm not sure what extra things the Wookie Smuggler has. I think it also has like a repair tool that could repair stuff. I'm not sure about that. The Dark Trooper for the Empire. The Empire has the Dark Trooper, and the Dark Trooper has a jump pack, and it's actually very helpful. And the jump pack, just makes the Dark Trooper go up, and then the Dark Trooper falls down to the ground, and it's kind of helpful in most situations. Oh, if you want to get to a battle scenario, if you want to go to a battle quicker, just use it. You get to an area faster. The Separatists have the Droidica. The Droidica is hard to describe, because when I use it, it's very, very hard to control. Over time, I got used to the controls for the Droidica, and also the shields are very, very powerful for the Droidica, because of course the Droidica has shields and activates them, and yeah, also the Droidica is very fast. You can move very fast from one place to another, and yeah, it's overall a very good class, but overall the controls are very, very hard. When the AI use the Droidica, they're very, very good overall, and it's very hard to defeat a Droidica when you're alone. Even with a group of troops, it would be very hard to eliminate a Droidica. Oh, and also I forgot to talk about the Wookie Smuggler. Also, the Wookie Smuggler is very, very slow. That's the thing that I forgot to say about it. The Wookie Smuggler is very, very slow, and overall, if the Wookie Smuggler has a huge amount of health, so it's very useful in most scenarios. So yeah, we said about the Imperial Special Unit, the Rebel Special Unit, the Separatist Special Unit. Now the clones. What unit do the clones have? They have the Clone Jet Trooper. The Clone Jet Trooper is it's super fun to use. Probably the most fun unit to use out of all these other special units. So the Clone Jet Trooper, you have a jetpack, so it's super, super fun to just fly around the battlefront. And yeah, the Jet Trooper has a not a grenade launcher, but not rocket launcher, but he has a gun that shoots missiles, not like just shoots rockets. And also he has a plain DC-15, not pistol, but I don't know, it's a pistol in this game. It's it's like a pistol. And also he has 6 grenades, which is a huge amount of grenades. Overall, the Clone Jet Trooper is super fun to use, to just fly around and get a special position, and it's overall very fun unit to use. So overall, each class has its own unique thing. Even the special classes aren't overpowered. The only one that is very overpowered is the Droidica. It's super powerful, but also the controls make it kind of weak. It's not no. It's a good unit when the AI use it, so that's the way. It's annoying. And yeah, I think that's all I had to say about that. Yeah, so that's, I think, all about the classes. Also, I think the infantry unit has also a basic pistol with it, so it has a rifle, basic pistol, and a grenade. Overall, yeah, I think that's all about the units. So let's now actually start talking about the maps, the map design overall. So the map design, what is there to say? The map design is great. This game kind of uses planets and makes a couple maps. Like, for example, Tatooine, right? They have three maps for Tatooine. They have the Dune Sea, the Mos Eisley, and Jabba's Palace. And also for Bespin, they have the Cloud City and the Bespin platforms. And overall, I kind of like that they use they use it to make a couple maps out of a planet. Jabba's Palace and Mos Eisley. I kind of like that they made a couple maps out of each planet. And, not just, one planet, then they make one map for that planet. Then it has a huge selection of maps. Also, the map design is great for the amount of action, overall. There's quite a huge amount of units per team. I don't know exactly how many, because the game doesn't tell me. And, yeah, overall, the design of the maps is great. How the command posts are laid out is just great. For example, for Kashyyyk Islands, one team is in the middle area, in this one big island in the middle. and they have like 3 command posts very like close to each other, while the other team has 3 command posts around that team, and it's very, very cool because it just feels like a huge battle, and it's just very fun. Also, maps like Hoth, for example, in this game are just absolutely awesome. Have that huge scale to them, have that huge scale in battle, and just awesome to play. And yeah, I don't know, they're just awesome. The map design's great. How the command posts are also laid out is great. They're not so close to each other, but they're not so far away from each other. So there's like that perfect amount of action in the areas. It feels like, everywhere I go there's stuff to do also. And also in the map design, when you walk through the map, you may find also gonk droids and medical droids. The gonk droids give you ammo, and the medical droids give you health. They make you get your health back. And also the gonk droids give you grenades, ammo, all that type of stuff. Refill everything in your inventory, and the medical droids heal you up. And yeah. Also, there's Astromech Droids that heal your ship. Yes, there's also starfighters that you could use. Starfighters, there's Y-Wings, X-Wings, TIE Fighters, Bombers, Jedi Starfighters, Gunships, and many more. It's awesome overall, and I really like it. Then, yeah, and Astromech, let's go back to the Astromech droids. The Astromech droids are placed around the map. For example, let's talk about Bespin platforms. So Bespin platforms has a lot of starfighters, right? It's mostly a space and ground battle, and it's absolutely awesome and huge in scale, and just a huge battle in the skies with turrets shooting down starfighters, a huge battle on the ground, teams pushing each other back and forth to capture the middle command post in the middle. It's overall awesome, and I really like that map. So let's continue with the topic about the Astromech Droids. Astromech Droid. And the Astromech Droid is helpful because for example, you go in the sky in Bespin platforms, you want to fight some TIE fighters. For example, you're the rebels and you're driving an X-Wing. Fight some TIE fighters. Your ship is very low health, right? And you land, right? And you land near an Astromech Droid, and that Astromech Droid will repair your ship. And that's cool. Also, if you're the pilot class and you drive a vehicle like a starfighter, your ship's health will regain. It will go up. You lose some health, will go up slowly but surely. So there's like a purpose to have a pilot class, right? A pilot, to be a pilot, instead of using, for example, an infantry. So if you're a pilot class and you go into a starfighter, lose some health, eventually that health will go up, and you'll get your health back. And that's very cool because there's a purpose for the class. And yeah, and the Astromech Droid heals up your ship, so when you land near it, it heals up your ship, and overall that's awesome. Yeah. And the heavy unit, let's start talking. I talked about the heavy unit. That's not very good against vehicles, so it's more better against a huge group of enemies. And the heavy unit is also quite good against defending a command post, because it has bombs. It could plant bombs, and enemies may go on top of the bombs, boom, and that type of stuff. And yeah, I think that's all. Also, yeah, there's a lot starfighters. Let's not again start talking about the starfighters again. The starfighters overall are very fun to use. Some maps have them, some maps not. For example, Mos Eisley doesn't have them, but the Dune Sea map for Tatooine does. and that's just awesome, right? Just get into a TIE fighter and bomb the ground, and overall just awesome. And yeah, I think, yeah, and also there's tanks on the ground. So for example, you're on Endor, you could use an ATST. Also, there's speeders that you could use on Endor, which is very, very awesome. Each map has like these unique vehicles, and it's awesome. For example, Hoth has AT-ATs, which are so awesome to use, and also the AT-ATs are on Renvar Harbor also, and there's the snow speeders are also on Hoth. So the only map they could use the snow speeders are the only map they could use the snow speeders are on is Hoth, which is overall awesome. I really like the snow speeders. They're very, very fun to use. And also there's different types of turrets on maps, like there's these shield turrets on Hoth, and there's also these basic turrets on Hoth also. And yeah, there's these also turrets with armor that have this armor. And also, when the AI control the turrets, they have perfect aim. And overall, the perfect aim kind of is annoying. For example, if I'm trying to go to the Endor bunker and try to destroy it, the turrets destroy me within a second or two, and it's very annoying. And overall, it's very annoying, right? And not very fun. If you watched me play the campaign, my live stream, if you watched the live stream, which I tried, I wanted to complete the whole campaign for the Galactic Civil War, and the final mission was to win the battle on Endor as the rebels. And I had such a hard time to defeat the Empire, because the Empire had ATSTs, and they are so good. The ATSTs were very good. The vehicles in this game are overpowered. I'm talking very good. And overall, it's very fun to use a vehicle. It's very fun, but the vehicles are very powerful. The heavy unit doesn't do a lot of damage to them, so you know, it's kind of just a thing like that. And overall, I do think that, you know, the vehicles should have been way weaker. They're too powerful. They're anti-troop units. They destroy troops with ease, and they're just too good. And yeah, also in the battles, there are, you know, heroes, villains, yeah, and they are invincible. So, for example, you know, they're invincible. You see them, you know, they're coming at you. You're not gonna kill them. Except if you throw a grenade and push them back and they may fall off a ledge. Actually, one time, I was playing on the DNC map, and I actually recorded this on YouTube, so I made a video on it, so you could watch me do that, but I was going against Darth Vader, right? And I wanted to go on the edge of the map where the kill barrier is, like, you know, the out of Battlefront area where I'll get back to the Battlefront, and then if you don't get out of the area fast enough, you will eventually die. And I wanted to bring Darth Vader to that area so he would die, and I did that, but I didn't see him die, so I conclude I killed him because I didn't see him. He didn't come back from that area. He perhaps respawned, so because eventually I saw him, and the heroes and villains do respawn if they do die somehow. So yeah, and yeah, the heroes and villains are invincible, which is you know, kind of actually funny. You actually can't play as them, which is very unfortunate. It would be very fun if the game would ask you, oh, do you want to play as a hero or villain in this match? That type of thing, like maybe a different game mode. And also, I'm going to talk about instant action later on in this review, But instant action only has one game mode, which is Conquest, which is capture and command posts, that type of stuff. But I'm going to talk about that later on in the video. And yeah, overall, the invincible heroes actually is a good idea, because it's just I don't know, it feels very cool and awesome, and yeah, it's just awesome. And yeah, so I talked about the map design, the classes, and as I said, the map design is wonderful. The amount of units on the Battlefront is just awesome. Seeing huge amount of troops just attack a command post just feels very, very awesome. And yeah, I think that's all I wanted to talk about the things, like the basics of the game. So I talked that. Yeah, I don't know. So we talked about the maps. Also, yeah, there's nothing. There's nothing. So, I think I should start talking about the instant action, the instant action, the Galactic Conquest, and the campaign. So yeah, so let's start talking about those things. So before I start talking about the instant action, I want to talk a little bit about the main menu. So the main menu has, shows the single player, multiplayer, tutorials, and the options. It lists all the things, and you click on, main menu, okay? And when you go into the options you could change if you want to play in first person or third person. Yes, you can play in first person if you want to. Also, you could change the audio, you could change the controls, you could change the controls for the infantry, the starfighter, the turrets, and those type of stuff. And yeah, also you could, in the options, you could change if you want heroes and villains to be in your matches. Maybe you don't like having heroes and villains in the matches. Maybe disable them. And also you also can enable and disable if you want friendly fire. So perhaps you don't like friendly fire, and you would disable that. And now also in the options there are special features. You unlock the special features by I'm pretty sure playing the campaign, completing certain campaign missions. And in the special features there's concept art and stuff like that. And also, this is quite cool, because this game came out before Republic Commando. So it had this game has a Republic Commando trailer that shows what Republic Commando is about, and it's quite cool, quite awesome, and I enjoyed watching it for a little bit. And yeah, so that's about the special features and the options. So also, there's tutorials. So the tutorials kind of teach you the game, like they explain the classes, how they work, and what they have, what tools, like also they explain the capturing of command posts and that type of stuff. And they also the tutorials also explain Galactic Conquest, and if you don't understand something, you want to learn something there, just go into the tutorials and yeah, do that. Also, they explain each class, like special class and normal classes, so that's very cool. So actually, let's start now talking about the instant action. The instant action lets you play through all the maps that this game lets you play through, So you play some maps in the campaign, and you play some maps in Galactic Conquest, and you want to play those maps again. You could go into instant action, press what map you want to go on, and you could make a playlist. Or for example, you want to play 5 maps, right? So you would select those maps, and then you have an option if you want to play them in order, or do you want to play them in a random order. And that's kind of the thing there. And also, I forgot to say when I was talking about the main menus, I mean about the maps earlier in this review, I forgot to say that some maps have native life. Some native life on them, and yeah, for example, the Dune Sea has Tusken Raiders fighting the rebels and the Empire. So that's very cool. Probably the Dune Sea is my favorite map just because of the scale. Just 3 teams, the native life, the rebels, and the Empire fighting each other. So awesome. And yeah, it's just super awesome. And for the instant action, for example, you want to play on Geonosis as the Empire, you can't do that because, the Geonosis is during the Clone Wars era, not during the Galactic Civil War era, so you can't just kind of play around with that. And yeah, that's kind of all about that instant action stuff. So overall, instant action is just awesome. Lets you replay through everything. And yeah, if you want to play through all the maps, you could select all of them and play through all of them in random order or in normal order. And yeah, that's just very awesome. So overall, instant action is very, very simple, nothing too complex, and overall, very, 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 very simple, but still is very good. But the unfortunate thing is that in instant action, there's just one single game mode. In the whole game, there's just one single game mode. And that's very unfortunate. And that game mode is Conquest. You capture command posts and, just capturing command posts, defending command posts. It's a very fun game mode. I really like it. This game mode I play actually the most in the second classic Battlefront, and I play the Conquest a lot in the second classic Battlefront, but still I want perhaps, something different. If this game would have like one extra game mode, like earlier in this video I said this game has heroes and villains, they could have made a game mode on that where you can play as the heroes or villains. You could play as a hero or villain depending on the map and have fun with that. That would actually be very awesome. And it's unfortunate that this game didn't do that. And yeah, I would really like a game mode where you can actually play as a hero or a villain while everyone else is, it's a normal Conquest match, just you're able to play as a hero or a villain. That would just be very awesome. It would be very simple, but it would be very, very fun. And yeah, that would, also there's no customization in the matches in the instant action. I think there could have been, it would be so much more awesome if you could decide how much troops there are on each side, if you want tanks or if you want starfighters in the match, that type of stuff. Those settings would be very, very simple. If I want tanks, if I want vehicles in the match, or if I want starfighters in the match, if I want to disable those things and decide how many troops are on each side, and yeah, it would be very cool to decide, this team has more troops while this team has less troops and that type of thing. For example, if you would be playing, for example, the hero game mode that I just made up, and you'd want to be the only person on your team, and you're a hero. There's a lot of troops on the other team, and you would just fight. There was a lot of possibilities with this game, but unfortunately they weren't used. But the second Battlefront, of course, improved on those things and added so many settings and that type of stuff, and yeah. So overall, the second Battlefront improved on so many things of this game and added in so many new features. So eventually, when I will be reviewing the second Battlefront, I will be talking about the new features that they added and all that type of stuff. So overall, instant action is very simple. You just select the a planet that you want, and when you select a planet, you select which faction you want to play as, on which era you want to play on that planet. Some planets you could only play in one era, like Commando. You could only play during the Clone Wars, and it makes sense because Commando didn't appear in the original trilogy. So yeah, so that's I think, all about the instant action and the main menu. So yeah. So overall, the instant action, unfortunately, is very, very simple, very bare bones. It's nothing too special, and yeah, I really do enjoy playing, just selecting what planets I want, and yeah, for example, if you want to play on all the Tatooine maps, for example, like the Dune Sea, Jabba's Palace, and Mos Eisley, you could select them all, and select what eras you want to play those maps on, and do you want to play them in random order, or play them in order. Just overall, the idea was great. Unfortunately, in the second Battlefront, they didn't keep the, do you want to play them in random order or in order? I actually would really like this setting in the original second Battlefront, to be able to, do I want to play in order, or if I don't want to play in order, and that would be awesome. And I also like how this game lets you choose if you want to have heroes in the game or not have heroes in the game. That's just very nice. And yeah. And also I talked about the first person, that in the options you could choose if you want first person, if you want to play in first person. Overall, first person isn't very special. There's no wheel loading animations for that. It's super simple, nothing too special. I just play in third person personally. The first person isn't special, and the third person is just, I just prefer playing in third person. I like first person games, and I like third person games, but in this game the first person isn't very great. Yeah, and overall the instant actions are just very fun. And also, they should have added something in for instant action. What classes should you be able to use in the match? Overall, that would just be a very cool addition. Very small, but very also cool to just have an addition of, what classes can players use in this match, and that would just be very awesome. And also, if you pick this game up on Steam, and you play multiplayer, the only thing you could play multiplayer with is instant action. You could pick what planets you want to play on and make a and play with someone else. You can't play Galactic Assault multiplayer on PC, and you can't play the campaign multiplayer. So if you want to play multiplayer, you could only use instant action for the multiplayer on PC. So you can't play the campaign multiplayer, and you can't play the Galactic Conquest multiplayer. You can only play instant action multiplayer on PC. And yeah, Xbox doesn't have multiplayer, as I said earlier in this review, which is very, very unfortunate, because the servers were shut down. The game had multiplayer on Xbox and PlayStation, but unfortunately it doesn't have no more because the servers were shut down. So yeah. So yeah, I think that's all about the instant action and the main menu. Yeah. So actually, let's now start talking about the campaign and Galactic Conquest. Okay, so let's now start talking about the campaign. The campaign, unfortunately, is very, very, very simple. It's very unfortunate that it's very simple. I don't know, it's very simple. There's not much of a story into the campaign. It's, as I said, very simple. There's two eras that you can play the campaign in. There's the Clone Wars era, and there's the Galactic Civil War era. And the campaign's just the campaign just talks about what happened in the movies. Like, the missions are just simple. There's no real objectives, just win the battle, and that's all. So overall, the campaign just has no real objectives, just win the battle. And when you win the battle, you move on, complete more, you complete another mission for the campaign, and the cutscenes are just parts of the movies, you know. It's nothing very special here. And I did enjoy playing for the campaign, you know. I overall enjoyed playing for this game. And overall the gameplay is quite nice, so then I want to continue playing, but the campaign's very simple. And just it's quite cool that they made the 2 era thing that I'll play on in the Clone Wars or the Galactic Civil War. And yeah, I completed them both. Overall, the only one mission that I actually enjoyed was the first mission in the Clone War era campaign, which was the Gungans versus the droids, and you can't play that in instant action. And I really liked that level because I had those big shields and you had to kill those creatures to disable the shields, and it was so awesome. It was very fun, and just fighting against the Gungans, and it was just awesome. And I really like it. And just in Naboo plains, it was awesome. Driving an AAT, trying to destroy the shields, so then they are disabled, and then the troops could shoot through and kill the Gungans and capture the command posts. And overall, it was very fun. And that mission was the only mission that I actually enjoyed in all of the eras in the campaign. And if you watched my live stream playing the Galactic Civil War campaign, you might have seen me struggle for the last mission, which was win the battle as the rebels on Endor against the Empire. And it was so hard to get in to destroy the bunker, first of all, because if I would go out the bunker, then some Imperial pilots would come in and repair the things and go out, and when I would come back, the things would be repaired and I would have to again do it, and it was a very tedious process and not very, it was just annoying overall. And it was, I don't know even how I won the match that I did do it and completed it. It took me such a long time in the live stream, and if you want to see that, you could check out the live stream on the Galactic Civil War campaign. And overall, it was so annoying when the only class that you could really use to destroy that bunker is the Wookie class. That was the only class that was actually good actually good in destroying the bunker, because it had those bombs, those free bombs with the timers, and that was the only real good class that I could use to destroy the bunker, and the only class that I did use to destroy the bunker. And yeah, it was just a very annoying mission, the final mission for the Galactic Civil War. And yeah, the Clone Wars era campaign was much easier, definitely. And yeah, as I said, my favorite mission from all those missions was the first mission in the Clone Wars era, just because it was just fun, very unique, just different. And yeah, as I said, there's not much of a story in this campaign. It just says what happened in the films, and that's all. And it uses parts of the movies to as its cutscenes. So overall, the campaign is very simple but still fun to play. It was fun to complete it just to get those special features that you eventually would get in the options menu. So overall, that was the only reason why I wanted to complete the campaign. And yeah, not very special. Just very simple. I did enjoy, as I said, playing through it, but it was just simple. It was like a normal conquest match. It was just win the battle. That was the objective. And unfortunately, they probably could have made more of a story with. No, they could have made their own cutscenes. I don't know, but still, not a bad campaign. But as I said, very simple. And I would definitely prefer a campaign. They could have actually made a story. I don't know. They could have just made a story by typing the stuff in. I don't know. It would be great. Still, it would be probably better if they would actually have like a story. So it would be probably way more. I would probably want to play the campaign for the story, but still, it wasn't that bad, and it was still fun to play through because of the fun gameplay. And yeah. So so I talked about the campaign. So let's now start talking about the Galactic Conquest. This is one of the best things that came out of a Star Wars video game, probably. Of course, the second Battlefront improved on it, and the second Battlefront made it so awesome, made it so great. But I will talk about the Galactic Conquest in this game because it's, of course, the review for this game. So, the Galactic Conquest in this game is more of a tactical game mode, more thinking and more. You're kind of a leader of the faction that you choose, and there's different Galactic Conquest maps. First, there's 4. You start off with 4, and you have an option of 4. And then when you complete one of those 4 and you win the battle for one of those 4, you unlock 4 more that are way better. There's way more options. It's way more fun to play on those extra ones that you actually unlock. They're just, in my opinion, way better. It's a bit different, and yeah. And there's a lot of tacticality involved. Not like a lot. It's actually very simple, but such a good idea for a game mode. It's very fun overall. I made 3 live streams. For now. I'm probably gonna make like a lot more on the Galactic Conquest because it's so fun. And now let's actually now start talking about it. So as I said, you start off with 4, and when you complete one of those Galactic Conquests, you unlock the rest. So in total, there's 8 Galactic Conquest maps to play through, and it's just overall awesome and great. So yeah. So let's now start actually talking about what decisions will you be making in the Galactic Conquest matches. Well, overall, it's just a map. There's some planets, and you just make decisions. You choose what planet you want to attack, and you choose what planet you want to attack. You go to that planet. You could choose a bonus. Each planet has its own unique bonus, and when you win the battle on the planet, then it becomes neutral. So the enemy can't use the things that they had for that planet. So it's neutral. So now you perhaps pick again to go to that planet, and you win that place. And then you have a bonus that planet has. And there's a couple bonuses. There's the back the bonus that you get your health back eventually, slowly but surely if you lose health. There's the extra garrison bonus. There's the advanced training bonus, which makes your troops so much better, and there's many more. And overall, the one that I find the most useful is the advanced training, because the troops are so good. They could do a lot of things, and they're so smart, and they're very good. The troops are very good. For example, on Bespin platforms, if you have the advanced training on, they'll just get into a starship and fly in the back and just capture the command posts more than usual, because if you don't have the advanced training, they'll still do it, but not as usual, not as often. And if you have the advanced training, they'll do it very often, and they're gonna go over and over to capture command posts in the back to flank the enemy, and also their accuracy is way better, and overall they're way more independent, and they're just way better. And I would that's the one that I always use, and that's the one that I always want to get, to conquer the planet that has that bonus. I always want to do that because this bonus is very good and very useful overall, and it will let you win so many more battles. Like, some battles are very hard to win because, you know, some planets aren't very balanced. Like, it's sometimes very hard to win certain battles as a certain faction on a certain map, and it's just very hard. But with the advanced training, it's sometimes much easier, or just, you know, it's effortless sometimes with how easily you could win the battle. So yeah, and so as I said, the Galactic Conquest also, if you win 4 matches, it doesn't matter if they're in a row. No, so if you win 4 matches, you have. It depends if you're the good guys or the bad guys, and if you're the good guys, you're the clones, and you're the Republic and the rebels. And if you're the Republic and the rebels and you win those 4 times, you're able to control a planet. You're able to choose what planet you want to control that the enemy has, or the one that's neutral, and you choose. And yeah, it's basic. But when you're the bad guys, which is the Separatists and the Empire, you're able to destroy a planet. And I don't know, it depends what type of person you are. If you capture or raid the planet that has the advanced training, you know, it doesn't really matter what you capture or what you destroy. But if you're the Empire and the Separatists, and the final planet has advanced training, and you have to destroy one planet, you know, I don't know. And overall, it depends. Sometimes the destruction is useful, and sometimes the capturing is very useful. So overall, yeah. So I think the advanced training is very useful, and yeah. And also, if you who wins a battle? For example, you go to a planet, right? And you battle there, and you lose. Then the enemy can choose what planet to attack, and then they attack a certain planet and you again lose, and they again can choose. So if you win a battle, you're able to choose, and if the enemy wins, they're able to choose. So you could win all the matches, all the battles in the Galactic Conquest, and the enemy won't even be able to choose. They wouldn't be even able to attack. And overall, I don't know, I don't really care about that, if it's able to, no, if you're able to attack or not. Usually you're able to win a battle, so yeah, not really a big deal there. So the Galactic Conquest is a very, very fun game mode. I had a lot of fun with this game mode. It's just, I don't know, if I would compare the campaign and the Galactic Conquest in this game, the Galactic Conquest is way better. So much more fun to be had with this game, and definitely more effort was put into the Galactic Conquest. Definitely. So overall, I think the Galactic Conquest is just so much better, so much more fleshed out, while the campaign is just bare bones. It's super simple. I'm not very into it, you may say, because the campaign is just some cutscenes and some conquest, and there's not much definitely not much work put into it. Definitely the developers put more time into the Galactic Conquest than the campaign. I just really like the Galactic Conquest so much better, and it's just so much more fun when you look at it. And also, it's nice that it isn't just, go to what planet you want and fight there. I like that the developers added in these abilities that you can use, and each planet, as I said, has its own ability. So when you have if you control that planet, you have that ability. And also, you only could use one ability. You can't use like a couple abilities for a battle. You go into a battle and you're able to choose what ability you want to use. And I choose the advanced training when I have the planet that has that. And yeah, probably the second one that's very good is the extra troops, because it's just extra troops. It's very good. So yeah. So if this game would have like, oh, you're able to choose two things, yeah, though if you would be able to choose advanced training and extra troops, your team is basically invincible. If that would be the case, but it isn't, and yeah, it just makes the game way better. Just being able to choose one, and overall, I do prefer that. So overall, yes, I do think the Galactic Conquest is better than the campaign. It's just, I don't know. The campaign is not as fleshed out. And as I said, that's very unfortunate, because I think the campaign could have been so much better if it had a story. Because as we saw in the original second Battlefront, if you have played that game, the campaign is so awesome and just so fun, and overall. Just so much fun in the second classic Battlefront. I really did enjoy that. So overall, yeah. So I talked about the Galactic Conquest and about the campaign. So yeah. So let's actually now start talking about the graphics. So the graphics are very simple. And you may ask, is that a bad thing? Well, it's not a bad thing, because they get the job done. They're good graphics, they're not horrible, they're not perfect, they're simple. They're simple. They get the job done. And overall, I don't know, they can definitely be better, but for the time that this game was made, not bad. And overall, the graphics aren't horrible. They aren't the best, as I said. I don't know really what to say about them. They get the job done. And, yeah, that's that. I don't really know what to say about them. It's just graphics. And, they get the job done, as I said multiple times now. And, yeah. So the graphics are simple. Some stuff, it's mostly kind of grayish in some areas, like Commando. Feels kind of very dark, but doesn't feel too dark. And I don't know, it's hard to describe. Well, for example, Kashyyyk Docks is kind of dark. It's kind of darkish. I don't know. It's hard to explain. They get the job done. They're not the best graphics. They're just good. They're simple. And while I'm talking about graphics, if you look up in the sky, sometimes you may see ships flying around, like a Star Destroyer and that type of stuff. For example, if you're on Geonosis, you may see LAATs flying in the sky far above. And yes, on Geonosis you can fly LAATs, but there's some fake ones really up into the sky. And also there are Geonosian starfighters flying in the sky. So it kind of feels like there's a huge battle, not only in the ground but also in the sky farther above, even though it's just random stuff. And also you might have realized on the Dune Sea and Mos Eisley. So for example, you play on Mos Eisley during the Clone Wars era, you'll see Acclamator class Star Destroyers flying above. But if you would choose the Galactic Civil War area, you would see Imperial Star Destroyers flying above. And overall, that small detail is quite nice. I kind of like it. It's nothing too big, but it's still, awesome just seeing a different type of ship flying above, if you choose a different era. So yeah, of course they couldn't use a Star Destroyer when you're playing during the Clone Wars era, of course you wouldn't see a Star Destroyer, an Imperial Star Destroyer. But still, nice to see that there's actually something in the sky, because they could have just left the sky blank. But you see Star Destroyers flying, and if you're in the Galactic Civil War era, and you see Acclamator class Star Destroyers flying if you're in the Clone Wars era. And that's just awesome. It's not like for all the maps, it's just the maps that I really saw it on was Mos Eisley and the Dune Sea. Those were like the two maps that I really saw it, and it was easy to just see it. Also, yeah, as I said, there's the Geonosis. You could see the stuff on Geonosis, and there's probably way more stuff I just probably didn't see. And yeah, also the loading screen for the matches is absolutely awesome. It's just zooming into the location of the where the battle is. It's just awesome just seeing that. And for example, you are going to Mos Eisley on Tatooine. It has a different loading screen compared to Tatooine Dune Sea. Of course, it would be a different one, but still, nice to see that they didn't just copy and paste those ones for the Tatooine, for the maps that are on Tatooine and other stuff like Kashyyyk. And for example, Kashyyyk Islands is somewhere in the water. It zooms into the water area, while Kashyyyk Docks is like a beach area, so it zooms into the beach area. So overall, that detail is very nice. It's nothing very special, but still nice that it could have been just a blank loading screen. It could have just showed the map, and that's all of the game, and it would just say, oh, loading. But they put in the effort to make the loading screen more interesting. And the same with the sky on some maps. They could have just left it blank. Oh, just a nice blue sky. But there's Star Destroyers flying above if you're in the Galactic Civil War era, and so on. Some maps don't, but some maps do. And that's just some nice detail overall. And yeah, as I said, the graphics aren't also special. Some of the models look kind of weird, perhaps. I don't know. As I said, graphics also get the job done. And as I said, it's nice that they made such a cool loading screen. Also, it's more interesting. Also, and yeah, and also what I forgot to say is about the instant action. When you get into the match, you could choose what team you are, and it doesn't choose it for you. You choose it, what team you want to be on. And that's just very cool, and I like that the game doesn't choose it for you, but you could choose what team you want to be on. And overall, everything's great here, and yeah, overall the graphics are great, and yeah, I think I talked about all the things about the game. I think I really went in depth there in some areas. Yeah, so I think I talked about all the things in this game. There was a ton to go through. And yeah, so let's now actually give it a score, and I'm gonna tell you if you should get this game or not. Okay, so I talked about all the things that this game has to offer. Now, a score I must give it. So, it's hard to re-say, but the score that I think I will give this game is 8.3 out of 10. The things that bring this game down are the very simple campaign. The campaign should have had way more interesting objectives, not just complete a conquest match within the map that the game gives it. And also, they should have made it more interesting by giving it a story and making cutscenes actually, and yeah, and also the instant action. Not much customization within the matches. I would really want more customization within the matches. It would just be way more awesome to just be able to customize matches, make a match that you want, and that type of stuff. Also, way more game modes. That would just one more game mode would be so awesome. Just when you play the same game mode over and over, it kind of gets old. And yeah, and also overall the maps hold this game up. The map design is great. And also the amount of classes there are, that's great. And the game is quite balanced overall. The vehicles, first of all, aren't balanced. The units are balanced, kind of, but the vehicles are just overpowered. They dominate the battlefront. For example, Hoth. The vehicles fight each other, and the vehicles destroy the units that are below them, and just destroy everything that's in their way. And overall, the vehicles are just a bit too overpowered, as I said. The instant action probably needs some more customizations, and the campaign needs to be more, better. So that's quite a lot of things to complain about. But this game still gets a 8.3 out of 10. But there's so many good things about this game. The map design, the overall flow of the game, the scale, the amount of troops, as I said, map design, the amount of maps that this game has. Galactic Conquest holds this game up so well. The Galactic Conquest is probably my favorite game mode in this game. It's so fun, so enjoyable, and I had so much fun playing through Galactic Conquest. I'm probably going to make so much more live streams on Galactic Conquest, hopefully. And yeah, I just really like Galactic Conquest, and I enjoyed so much because it's something different. You know, it's refreshing after you play a lot of conquest matches and instant action, and then you play some Galactic Conquest. It's just refreshing to be able to make decisions, do stuff, and very cool. And yeah, also the unique gameplay, the different things they could do, repair stuff, like ships, heal troops that are beside you, and that type of stuff. And yeah, overall, also the classes, each class has its own like real purpose. And overall, yeah, this game does have a lot of good things, and the bad things don't matter in some areas, but they still do bring kind of the game down to an 8.3 out of 10. And now the final question: should you get the game? And the game, if you're a huge Star Wars fan like I am, you should definitely get the game. The game is definitely worth $10. The amount of fun you're probably getting with this game, you can't probably get. It's very fun, and if you're not a Star Wars fan, should you get this game? You should probably get it. Yeah, you should probably get it, because overall, yes, it is Star Wars, but still the gunplay and everything is still so fun. It has its own like good flow, and yeah. If you don't like Star Wars, I still think you should get this game. It's still very fun, very enjoyable. It has a lot of good features. It's unique compared to other games, and it has overall fun flow. And the Galactic Conquest is so much fun, so you'd probably have a lot of fun with that. And yeah, so overall, that is my review. Yeah, I do think you should get the game. It's a very fun game. Just overall, the scale of overall very fun. And I think this game does deserve an 8.3 out of 10, because overall, when you look at the stuff, yes, this game does deserve an 8.3 out of 10. So yeah, so that was my review. So I hope you did enjoy this review. I went quite in depth into the features that this game has to offer. And yeah, overall the game, I had a lot of fun making this review. And yeah, and overall I do enjoy making reviews. I like just talking about stuff, and overall I do like to talk, and just being able to make a review. And I just really like talking about stuff just telling you guys my opinion. It's very fun, and yeah, if you enjoyed this video, perhaps like it, perhaps also check out my previous reviews on Star Wars games that I have made reviews on, and yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, perhaps like the video. If you enjoy this type of content, maybe subscribe. And also, if you want to see most of the gameplay that I have over here, all the gameplay, I have it on YouTube. I uploaded videos on this game, and I played it, and yeah, had a lot of fun with this game. So if you enjoyed this video, you perhaps will enjoy the gameplay videos that I made on this game. A lot of the gameplay that I have here is from the gameplay videos, and yeah, I'm gonna make way more. I'm gonna make reviews on more Star Wars games, so watch out for those. Yeah, and overall, I will still continue making videos on this game. There's still so much to upload, to make videos on in this game. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.